Let's go, baby! Welcome back, everybody. It's Marcus from TCG Discussions. Just watched the NA Finals. Puffing up the chest a little bit, because I called it. The best deck in the game, Enel, has won again. Strikes back. Everybody can't say nothing now. Oh, no, 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 no. No more the best Sakazuki players were playing in a side event because they wanted that cereal Luffy. None of that nonsense, boys. We in here, there's only one god, and his name is Enel, and he runs the One Piece TCG. I am so hype for so many reasons, everybody. So let's get into this. Let's just dissect this for a moment. Let's dissect this, the conversations, the chatter, the wishes, the bands, the wish list for the bands, the whole 9 yards. Let's just get into it, man. And you know it's gonna be juicy when I come at you with a hype video like this. So let's get down to business. Let's talk about EU. Sakazuki dominant. Sakazuki dominant. And after Sakazuki won in Europe earlier, before their finals, and then winning again with their finals, it seemed apparent Sakazuki is just going to become the deck like it was in Japan. Japan didn't see this Enel, but that's just a North America thing. That's just an Australia thing. Which, by the way, I think Australia, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong about this, but I heard somewhere in the chat that Purple Luffy might have actually won not Latin America, but Oceania. If so, that's the same. It might have won one of those two, but that's neither here nor there. Back to Sakazuki. Sakazuki gonna be the best deck in the game. It needs banned. This is unfair. We've got Rebecca and the Hina and the Rob Lucci with Ice Age, and the whole board just dies and I can't do anything. And there's no deck in the game that can stand against this. There's not a hope or prayer or a miracle or anything like that. Man, you guys can't be playing nothing but Sakazuki if you ever want to win a game. You're gonna go to nationals. You gotta be playing Sakazuki. It's the best deck in the game. None of this, all these other content creators, all this other nonsense, the Twitter hype, X tribe, whatever you want to call it, all the people after the EU finals. I told y'all that Sakazuki is just the best deck in the game, and the NA players suck because they just don't know how to beat Enel and all this other garbage, bro. That's what it's been. Enel's won 6 events, but don't worry, there wasn't as many players as there was in the EU 500-person tournament, so that just means the deck is trash. And the Los Angeles win was also trash, right? Because here's this homeboy over here, whoever won out of that like 300, 400 some person event, that didn't matter. It's trash because all the Sakazuki players were over there playing in the 3v3s, trying to get their serial Luffys, but it didn't happen like that today. 1,800 players up in NA players today, and you want to know what? Good old Giannis Abraham takes it with Enel. Let's go. Let's go. And you want to know what I've been saying? Enel is the best deck in the game. If you wanted to win, if you wanted to top, you should have taken Enel to Nats, and I was right. I don't know what's going on in Europe, but it is clear a few things. Few things are clear. Number one, they do not understand the matchup. They just don't get it. They don't get it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a gameplay, play styles, choices, curve choices, bad luck, draw, whatever. But it is perfectly clear that we just be playing better yellow games over here. That's what I've been saying. The Katakuris, the NLs, they different over here. So if you come on onto our turf, just remember that we play it differently over here. I heard some people talking trash, whispering some things in some chats and on some channels saying, yeah, the NA players, they just don't get it, okay? They are just bad Sakazuki players that just don't know how to play against Enel. How do you play against Enel any differently? They play Om, they play Holy. They only need it one time, and their chances of winning the game on that one set of cards coming to the board skyrockets to 65%. 65% win rate right there on the spot. They get 2 of them boys going to the board, it shoots up to 85%. Because guess what? You ain't going to have enough cards, Sakazuki, to be out on the board. And that's exactly what Giannis did. He outed everything that his opponent wanted to set up for him. I've never seen in my entire... The ending of that game was crazy. It was crazy. There were 3 Yamatos on the board. There wasn't a hope prayer or any Rebecca Hina Lucci hot nonsense that was going to do a dang thing. He didn't see the 10 cost Kaido in any of those games. And I got done told you, Sakazuki players. I told you. I told you. And I was going to say this. I should have made a video a couple days ago. But it wouldn't matter. It's not like anybody would have majorly listened to me. Maybe they would have. Maybe they wouldn't. But here's the thing. I done told you guys already that the 12 cost Kaido matchup is pivotal to beating Enel. If you don't see it, you're going to lose the game. You will run out of resources, they will go too tall, and lo and behold, guess what homeboy had? He had 3 of them girls up on the board, and there was nothing he could do to out it because he had been too busy outing the Holy, Sanji Brule, and the other Holy that had hit the board in the previous turns, and the Enel, the 7 cost. So by the time the first one came, if he didn't turn the card sideways, he was just going to have to dog dump because he had run out of all the removal and there wasn't enough reducers in the hand anymore to get the Yamatos down. And then the second one came and it started looking bleak. Then the third one came down, popped the Hina. The other 2 had attacked 2 cards and his opponent got desperate. Just turned all of his Dawn into his leader. Turned it sideways, he countered out. I said, that's GG. No no hopes, nothing. Doesn't matter. It's over. It is over. I just texted my boys in the chat saying, hey, yo, Enel's won. It's a wrap. Enel is won. And you want to know what's even funnier? I already told you this too. This is why Enel is the best deck in the game. This is why. He even lost the die roll. He lost the die roll against Sakazuki. He took game 1. Game 2, it was kind of it wasn't very good. It was a little bit back and forth, and there was just a point where Sakazuki just was like grinding too well for the resources that Enel had and all this other stuff. And then game 3, it was just like a mastery savant. Like he even said it himself, and it was really easy to see. Jonas, basically, what he had done was he said, yep, here's what I'm going to do. I've got the I've got the Holy, I'm high rolling on the Shura, going first. It's great. It's great. It's great. It's great. And then he got Yamato, then he drew another Yamato, and then he got Yamato flight. He's like, we're going to switch gears to go a little bit of the, we're going tall. I told you how you beat Sakazuki with Enel is you go tall and wide. Tall and wide. And that is exactly what he did. He went wide while going tall. That was the ultimate, you done. He needed the 10 cost Kaido. He played only 1 of it in the deck. And I'm telling you, that ain't it, fam. If you're playing Sakazuki and you think you're going to run into Enel, you think you're going to run into yellow, you need, well, Enel specifically. I'm going to tell you right now, Japan's going to be looking at this tournament because they know that we don't mess around. I had some guy in Europe trying to tell me, North America players never have anything figured out. All this other stuff, you guys suck at like every card. And yeah, despite the fact that we're like the best like country in the world almost when it comes to Dragon Ball, or like we dominate in Yu-Gi-Oh, or we dominate now. Probably going to be One Piece going to be representing the real OPO5 meta that they never played. They never played it. Guarantee it. I guarantee Japan's going to be testing the crap out of OPO5 meta NL right now as they watch this tournament. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it wasn't just about Abraham winning today. Mr. Abraham winning today. It was also about the fact that Enel was 12-0 in the European finals before he went to top 64 and then he got bumped. That's right, I said it. He was 12-0 with Enel before they cut to top cut. And I'm going to tell you right now, the same thing going to be those Enel players. Anybody who's a pro in this game is now looking at Enel being like, yeah, we kind of might have missed the mark on this one. I think Japan's dominance might have been colored by a little bit of recency bias and how good it was, and look at what you can do. I don't know what it is, because this thing, and Japan's got strong yellow players. I'm watching Katakuri players dish it to a stronger version of Sakazuki. Okay, they dishing it over there, all right? Katakuri's won two of their, just one of the most recent, and I think is won 2 of their like 6 or 8. So I'm telling you, they can play yellow over there. But for some reason in OPO5 meta, I don't know if it was the purple Luffy representation that just made the Enel feel really bad in the beginning, and then they didn't take Enel and test it super hard against Sakazuki. But it's official right now. I'm telling you all right now. Enel is going to be the deck to look out for in Worlds. And not only are we going to have a North America representation of first place for Enel, we also going to have our second place players like, yeah, that deck was kind of good. We're going to have to test for it to see what it is. They're going to play what's comfortable. But there's only going to be like 4 or 5 decks to be represented there. There ain't going to be no like Storm Road deck like Nami popping up and all of a sudden they got everything solved. No. It's going to be Enel, Purple Luffy, Sakazuki, and the good old homeboy that is, Purple Luffy, Sakazuki, Enel, and Katakuri. It's only going to be them 4s. Okay, them 4. That's it. Ain't going to be nothing else. And I'm coming hype into this video, right? We're 10 minutes in. I'm still hype. And here's the thing. It feels so good to be validated in what I've been saying since the beginning of OP05. I am brand new to this game, okay? I came in the tail end of OP04, going into 4.5 before we got to OP05 over here. And I'm telling you, it feels really good that I called this. Here's the thing, man. Somebody asked me in the comment section of one of my videos, how do you beat Enel? It's tough. There's not a clear answer. They go wide and they go tall, and by the end of the game, if you haven't put them at like about the mid to late game when it feels like it's starting to transition, you're about to feel whether or not you can actually win the game or not. It feels awful. It feels awful. Grinding against a deck that guaranteed is going to set you back another swing every single turn, and then another swing after that, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty tough. You gotta craft that kill turn, and it is hard to craft a kill turn, especially if they starve you and you have high life and there's high life between you, and then Yamato comes down and pops your 4 cost or whatever. I mean, it can be tough, and there is not a weakness that isn't written as Magellan in the game. Like, if you really want to know what the true weakness of Enel is, and it barely is that much of an issue, it is Magellan. That's it. Like, that's it. It's like Magellan, everything else is pretty free. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. I don't care. Like, literally, if Purple Luffy never had Magellan, he would steamroll Purple Luffy every time. Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. I mean, it just literally would not matter. And there's nothing else to say. Like, that's the only bad matchup for Enel. He's plus everywhere else. He's plus in Katakuri because it takes longer to kill. It doesn't matter that Big Mom trashes life. You take a whole turn to do that. If I have a whole board and you take all 10 of your dodges to trash one of my lives for me to recycle that, it ain't gonna matter for crap. Especially if I play another Yamato next turn and regen that life. You think I care? No. No, I don't. You better have a full turn or do something. Not to mention, if I play Cracker in my list, I'm going to definitely be popping off on 2 of your guys. It doesn't matter about your 5 life, your regen with 7 mom, all that other hot nonsense. They're going to be coming in anyway and just going to be getting the stain. The stain ski. That's all it is. Okay? And Sakazuki, it's the same thing, bro. Like, if they go wide early and you don't have the removal or enough of it and you don't see it in time, it is going to be match up bad. It's going to be matchup bad if they see it a little bit early and they go really tall late. It's going to be matchup bad every time. There ain't nothing to do other than draw 10 cost Kaido when you got 1 or 2 life left and 2 or 3 blockers on board. That's it. 10 cost Kaido, 1 blocker, 2 life. That's it. 10 cost Kaido, 2 blockers, 1 life. That's it. If you don't have a 10 cost Kaido to play in that matchup, it is awful. Bad, matchup terrible. And Homeboy lost 2 games out of his 3, because guess what he didn't see in any of them games? That 1 10 cost Kaido that he was playing in his deck. Might have been a mistake not to play 2. But that's neither here nor there. He is the second place person, second best representation for an A. Who am I to judge? I'm not. But to all the haters out there for Enel and everyone else sitting there saying that it is not a real deck, that it is not technically the best deck in the game, or is not, or Sakazuki's the best, stop it. Sakazuki's not the best deck in the game. Enel's the best deck in the game. Okay, it was 12-0 in European finals. It had multiple tops across every single tournament, and it just won North America after literally winning almost every reportable tournament in the United States, in North America. Period. There's nothing else to talk about. Stop talking about Sakazuki as if it is tier 1 of the tier 1s and there's nothing else up there. It's Enel, then it's Sakazuki, then it might be kind of Curry or Purple Luffy, whatever you want to throw in there. I'm done taking arguments, okay? I'm done hearing about percentages and digging for cards and all this other hot nonsense. I'm done hearing about how Sakazuki's so broken and needs to be banned. You have a deck that literally has built into its leader the ability to regen life by pitching a card, which requires 2 more swings to now kill the deck. And it's got a bunch of triggers and blockers that come out of nowhere to defend it. Oh, and this is the last thing that I need. I just need this to be said. If you think that yellow decks and yellow players are skillless, trigger-happy, lucky players, I'm not going to call them. I'm not going to say that you're stupid or an idiot. You're just wrong. Okay? You're wrong. Nobody goes 12-0 at Europe. Nobody goes undefeated and wins North America Nats. Nobody goes and wins and wins and wins and wins and wins again off of just getting lucky with triggers in your life. Stop the bad narratives. It's done. It's done. There wasn't an impactful trigger that really changed that game. There was a couple that might have shifted. It didn't really matter that much. Like a Veggie that hit a Borsalino when he wasn't going to try and kill him with it anyway. It wasn't even possible. It was like second to third. It was the top 2 life, and then he still had a regen of life and then take that last damage after he lost that last life, and there was only 1 more attack coming. After if that Veggie stops that Borsalino, there's only 1 more attack for the turn. He couldn't have possibly killed him. So we could have maybe put him to 0. Yeah, not likely. That was not the game plan he was trying to go for at all. He was definitely going for a removal and probably trying to swing at some cards on his board. So, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. The first game, a Brûlé popped up, but it was a Brûlé popped up on the board against Sakazuki. It's not like he doesn't have a leader swing and Hound Blaze just out that stuff immediately. It doesn't matter, right? It don't matter. So stop saying it. Enel players are not some skillless, nonsensical ninnies that can't win because they're handicapped with the leader effect and hit a bunch of triggers. That's just not how it is at all. If you watch the way that Mr. Abraham, it's Jonas, okay? His first name is Jonas. But if you watch, I'm just calling him Abraham. It's the same thing. Jonas Abraham. If you watch the way that he played that game, right, it was a masterclass on patience versus when to go. Patience versus when to go. I see it all the time. And I've said this over and over again. Don't wait for Gadatsu. Don't wait. He added Gadatsu to hand in one of his games and then pitched it off of a counter because he knew it was going to be bad. Okay? His opponent played a Sabo then to protect his 3-drop Hina, and it wasn't going to matter. So he just countered with it. And then instead of waiting with his Gadatsu to play Gadatsu, you know what he did? He's like, his opponent played 3-drop Hina. They drew a card. I'm just going to swing into his life and get aggressive early. And I like that. Doesn't mean you need to commit all your cards sideways, but he committed the leader so you can still swing at my life, give me cards, try to break my board, expend those resources. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because if you high roll with the aggression on top of it, and then guess what he did? He didn't wait. He didn't wait till he was down to 2 life to start swinging with Ohm. No. He made 6K, 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 just like I told you. It's what you got to do every time, right? You can't let Sakazuki get there. Literally, I'll just say this. If you play Enel and you want to know how to beat the matchup, you don't wait. You can't wait. If they get to 10-drop Kaido and they draw 4 cards and they have 2 life and 2 blockers with that Kaido, every single card, including your Yamato, turned sideways, is just subject to immediately die. Because you're going to have to spend 2 2Ks just to protect a Yamato. That's not including if they put a Dawn on it. They're going to cost you a 3rd card in your hand. You're kind of Curry. It's the same situation. Still going to take now 3 cards, and if they put another 2 Dawn on it, it's going to take now 4 cards. Then furthermore, because nobody's playing El Thor, besides me. I'm the only player playing El Thor of Akonis, but I mean, that's just me. Maybe that's not correct. Maybe allocating your Dawn to aggression is just more important, but I like having the Dawn back so I can just say, yeah, I'm at 13 or I'm at 9 over your 8 swing or whatever, right? You know, that's my preference, but it is what it is, right? But here's what you gotta like realize, okay? If Sakazuki gets to be able to play the Kaido, right? All your cards cannot attack anymore unless you're literally trying to go for game. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. It's gonna be real bad. And then another thing that was like a super masterclass about that in reference to what Jonas did, is that there was a play that he did where he played Shura to dig for another 3 billion Potamaru so he could rest 2 blockers and then whoop on that Sakazuki player. And I was like, chef's kiss, man. Kudos to you saying, hey, look, if I could just dig for it right now, game's over. It's over. And guess what? It was definitely over. It was over at that one point, bro. And even if you didn't kill him, there was probably no way you could come back from that. There's no way his opponent could come back from that. Everything was going down like timber. It was crazy. It was just absolutely crazy. So Enel is the best deck in the game. It's going to be probably, in my opinion, the best deck going in the world. It's because it's going to be OPL5 format, right? So that means it's the same thing that we have here. And they ain't getting them free extra Zoro Juro promo cards or whatever it is. That's not going to be a thing, right? So that's, I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I think that we are going to, one, see a huge spike in everything yellow. I did just prepare for the Sanjis, the Brules, the Alt Art Yamatos, Alt Enel Leader. Just prepare for all of it to skyrocket. And it's like, it feels so good. It felt so good to watch him win that. So good. My wife and I stopped watching The Walking Dead just so that we could. It's not like, hey, listen, we're behind. Okay, we're behind. But like, it's on Netflix and we're like, hey, well, let's watch it. We stopped watching The Walking Dead so that I could watch that finals. And she came and joined me in the last game while they were playing game 3. And I'm just sitting there saying, I'm like, yes, let's do it. It's over. It's over. When I saw third Yamato come down and he had 2 life left, I knew there is not a hope, prayer alive. Right? It would take double Ice Age, double like Great Eruption in a leader swing with a Lucci just to pop that board. It ain't happening. Okay? It just ain't going down like that. And that's part of the reason why the Kaido is so important. So when those Yamatos turn sideways, you can instantly hard check them if they don't have a blocker. So, I mean, Mr. Abraham, congratulations to you. Thank you so much for representing Enel and NA, and thank you so much for getting the W with the deck that I've been saying is the best since OPO5 started, and it feels so good. It feels so good that is the best deck in the game. It feels so good. And there is nothing anyone can say now. It has won way more tournaments than Sakazuki. It's like 7, okay? To like 3. If I'm not sure about like the other like world, qualifiers, what's going on with that. I know one of them is not won by Sakazuki, like Latin America or Oceania, and one of them might have been won by Sakazuki. So that would be only 3 to 7. Okay. Of the, then what would it be? 3, 7, 3, 10, 11, 12 major reportable tournaments. 3 out of 12. And El's won 7 of them. And then, who? Then Purple Luffy. Yeah. So, yeah. That's pretty impressive. And there's an 1,800 person player tournament to back that. In the EU one, if they didn't cut the top 64 to do 2 out of 3s, it would have won that at the Swiss. 12-0. 12-0 going into Top Cut. There ain't nothing to say no more. It ain't luck. It ain't a lack of skill. It is definitely not that the Sakazuki players are worse because that Sakazuki played more optimal than I think either of the EU players did. There's nothing to say. Like, every single decision he made was correct. Like, there were some plays that I was seeing that I was like, I'm not sure if you should do that. Maybe you should just go this route. He didn't do that. He ended up going a different route. I was like, how that kind of works out. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's pretty good. All that to say, right? Enel, it wasn't luck. It wasn't trigger sacky. It wasn't all this. It wasn't all that. It was skill, aggression, well-timed decision-making, and eventually the deck just won out. I mean, it turns out that recycling your life is pretty good. Being able to do that is pretty good. So, congratulations to everybody who went. I know there was a little bit of disappointment with the NA Nets for multiple reasons. There were some delays. That was not very good. The second issue is that there was some like rumors about being able to get into certain spots in the tournament to get your chance at being able to play, and many people got there and that was just not a thing. So that kind of stunk. So people went there thinking that they were going to be able to play in the main tournament and they weren't. So that kind of stinks. But I mean, aside from just viewing the finals, it appears, overall that it went relatively well. So, tip my hat to everybody that was out there. It looked like it was a lot of fun. A lot of people with, just having a really great time. Crowd was really supportive. I'm sure that it was the same thing over in EU, although there's a couple YouTubers, I've seen some videos that weren't exactly happy with how the EU tournament went. I'm not sure it was player base or whatnot, or salty losses with Sakazuki, but yeah, it was just obviously overall it looked like a pretty good tournament from what I could see from the finals. The reports I was getting, I was following, and if you hadn't heard about this guy, Orange Samurai D, I think it is, you gotta check that guy out, man. He was getting updates on everything. Huge shouts to him. He sent me the clip on Twitter, sent me the link for the live stream so that I could watch it at home on my big screen. It was great. I was super appreciative of him and his reports. He was one of the reasons why I even knew what was in top 8. By the way, our top 8 was 3 Sakazuki, 3 Enel, Zoro, Red Purple Luffy, and the top 4 was Enel, Sakazuki, Red Purple Luffy, and Zoro. Yeah. That's right, it's a diverse top 4. Really excited to see Red Purple Luffy make it so far. It stinks that he couldn't get the dub, but it is what it is. I guarantee, though, I kind of think I know what tech he was on. I'm excited to see the deck profile because there were some things that I was cooking up for the deck, and I think it was going to be pretty broken. And the guy who got top 64 EU was thinking like in the same vein as what I was thinking. So I wonder if he didn't help take some of the notes over there and incorporate in a deck. I'm excited to see that. I think a Nami player made it really far. I think top 64. Although it got top 8 in EU, so I mean that's frightening to think about that Nami's even remotely that good. And then following that up, Zoro is obviously a very real meta deck. There is nothing else to say. It is a actual legitimate tier 1 bona fide hyper competitive we're here deck. If you don't think so, I don't know what to tell you. You can't get top 4 and have the mass representation. I think a top 64 cut for EU, it had the second highest representation of decks. It petered off more towards the top of the top cut for 64 in EU, but it is very clear that it is an established deck. It's got its place. Diablo Jambe is insane, especially with the leader. And you just get a lot of really good value off of cards that search other cards while they're giving you life, and the ability to like jet pistol a card, play Diablo Jambe, swing through the blockers of Sakazuki. I mean, it can just feast on Sakazuki. Now, admittingly, Rob Lucci is really amazing, but you got to recycle those Luccis, or maybe not recycle Lucci because like, maybe you don't kill Lucci, maybe you do, so they can't like Rebecca it back to hand or Manchuria back to hand. I don't know. But all that to say that it's a force. It's clearly good. Red Purple Luffy, I'm excited to see what that list is all about. It's clearly a force, and it's just a really, really good thing to see. I think the top 64 cut was just very diverse overall. And, you know, just to have Enel come out on the end, I mean, oh, man, it feels good. It feels good. I don't know. I just like Enel. I like Enel. I mean, Katakuri is like my favorite, like, villain that he's ever fought, but Enel is like my number 2. And probably, like, he's got my favorite devil fruit power. Like, is it the Mirror no Mi? Which are the lightning fruit or whatever it is, like his devil fruit is just awesome. But yeah, I have no idea what his devil fruit's name is. But all that to say, I thought Enel was a really cool villain, and I like lightning a lot. So yeah, I'm getting on a tangent and a rant. So let's cut this short while we still can and have some saving grace for the hype that is clearly calmed down now. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope if you went to North America Finals that you guys had good luck, you had some fun, you learned a lot about matchups, what you're going to do, that you're ready to hit the ground running, that Worlds is not the end, the journey starts now. So hopefully by this time next year, I'll be able to meet some of y'all in person, either in a regional or at nationals. I couldn't make it just due to vacation, my newborn child, all this other stuff going on in my life. I just wasn't gonna be able to make it out. We had to move, so it's just it's a shame that I couldn't go. But it's not like I was gonna be a participant anyway because I joined too late in the game. But that ain't gonna be the case no more. And I'm coming. I'm coming for everything. I'm coming for it all. All the prize cards, everything. But it starts now. The grind starts now, y'all. And congratulations to everybody who participated. The sports, the people who will be making the videos like Eggman, doing tournament reporting, all that other stuff. Shout out to you guys. Thank you guys, as always, for watching my videos. And, you know, just staying with me this long through the hype, and I will see you guys next time. This is Marcus from TCG Discussions, signing off. Laters.